Hi, everybody. I'm Blake Cabot. I'm the owner of CareerLearning.com. And today we have Dr. Bev Browning, and she will be talking to us about some about grant writing solutions and writing grant writing proposals with ethical AI solutions. Dr. Browning is, get my notes up, is a grant writing consultant, a professional. She's written books, Grant Writing for Dummies, nonprofit kit for dummies in 2021. She's taught in for 45 years grant writing trends, board related barriers. She has a class coming up on next week on March 31st, how to write a grant, a certification with grant doctors on careerlearning.com. If all the resources, the slides that you're going to see today are in the presentation that are down below under resources. And if you have any questions, just put them in chat. With that said, Dr. Browning, thank you very much for being here, and please take it away.
Thank you so much, Blake. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are from today. Welcome to this mini presentation and a glimpse of what is to come and some ticklers about how exciting it is in the grant writing field. So today I'm going to talk about optimizing grant proposals with ethical AI solutions, but I'm also going to share a lot more with you as well. There will be an opportunity for questions at the end of the session, so I'll leave time for that. So I'd really like to talk about how important it is to unlock the power of grant writing. And what do I mean by that? It requires research, it requires wordsmithing, it requires understanding grantology, the language of grants that we use in the grants industry. And it also means that we now adopt AI ethically, not to write the entire grant proposal, but to help us find potential funding sources or even to help us with reference citations that we need to put into some sections of the grant proposal, like our statement of need. So we're going to discover how to secure funding for projects and initiatives in this program. And also, it will transform your career. It will enhance your skills, and you can become a certified grant writer. Now, it's not about the length of anybody's certification course. It's about the content. And the content that you get in the 5 weeks that I'll be teaching next week is content to give you everything you need to know to research and write award-winning grant proposals, private sector, foundation, and corporate, as well as grant applications, government sector, federal, state, county, city. So there's a lot out there, and I'm excited to talk about it. You know, I have been in this field as of this year 54 years, and approximately 51 of those years, I actually wrote grant applications and proposals for nonprofit organizations. It was exciting. I raised over $750 million, and this kind of glimpse at what this field can provide for you wasn't available when I started back in, I want to say the old days, because it was the old days. So I'm really excited to share a glimpse this morning and also to talk about our 5-week program. So what are the
5-day program, I think.
I'm sorry, 5 days. Thank you, Blake. Oh, I
No
want to
problem.
take it longer. So you're going to have expert guidance. Everything has been researched, and I'll be teaching this. You really do learn from experienced instructors through everything offered in the career learning programs, not just grant writing, but all of their other offerings as well. And you hear a lot of real world success stories, and you leave with enthusiasm, excitement, and looking forward to be a part of this industry. If you're already a grant writer, it's never wrong or too late to learn more, especially if you're not doing logic models yet, if you're not talking theories of change, things like that. But if you're not, this is a class that can take you from the beginning up until the stages where you're ready to enter a career. ready to latch on to something that could be the beginning of a meaningful, beneficial, and return on investment experience. There are lots of networking opportunities when you become a grant writer. There are several national and international associations. There are conferences annually, and there are always more continuing education courses. This is just the beginning. It's important that if we're going to be a grant writer, because we're so isolated in our employment, or if we're working virtually from home, we don't really have a chance to connect with our peers a lot because we're always in front of a computer or sitting in a meeting, doing research, writing, or listening. This industry brings people together and we help each other. And there are a lot of professional networks out there, but then there are sub or mini networks that you can always build with classmates or people that you meet along the way. It's really exciting. Let's talk about the course overview. The 5-week course, I'm sorry, 5-day, I want to say 5 weeks. Each day seems like a week, you get so much information. That is why. It is chock full. Comprehensive curriculum covering all aspects of grant writing, from research to submission, everything in between. There's also practical experience. You'll have hands-on exercises, chances to ask questions. There's a lot of Q&A time offered towards the end of each day's presentation. And you have a final exam. It builds your confidence and you also achieve competencies along the way. Excuse me. I'm teaching you today from Arizona. We have a 24/7, 365-day blooming season in the Sonoran Desert, and I have allergies. I'll also talk to you about identifying suitable funding sources, learning how to match your project with the right funders. With what's happening right now at the federal level, it's important to understand how to write, what to write, when to apply, when not to apply, how to connect with your congressional team members to help you push the application through, and how more than ever during these times, looking at private sector funders, foundations and corporations, many of them, which normally only give 5% of their annual revenue in grants, are stepping forward like the MacArthur Foundation and saying, we're going to give more than 5% to help the nonprofit sector who are struggling with trying to get dollars from the federal level. Other foundations have followed suit. We're seeing announcements daily with foundations stepping up, going to give more, going to support more, going to expand their funding priorities, going to look at funding that doesn't require a lot of bells and whistles and red tape, making it easier for grant writers to submit projects, applications that get funded, That's important. Making the process easier so it's not so complex, so everybody doesn't have a different way to submit. We're going to see more uniformity, more cohesiveness, more partnerships, more community-based support, not just for grants, but for fundraising. And for those of you that have heard of AI, it's not something to be shunned or afraid of. Let's face it, our information is out there and it's available anyway because we moved, because we opened a credit card, because we voted. There's something out there on all of us. So AI can be used in a friendly, safe format to help you when you're struggling with a paragraph that just doesn't seem like it's the one that's going to convince the funder if you should be funded or not. Drop that whole paragraph that you've written with your own creativity and put it into AI and let AI or ask AI to write it based on the following guidelines from the funder and upload the entire application set of guidelines and the section that you're honing in on, and it might be the statement of need, and ask for a recommendation on a revised statement of need that aligns better with what the funder is asking for and for the essence of your project, and you'll get a new paragraph. It's your choice if you want to stay with the one that you've put together so hard worked and worked on that, or if you want to go with the AI version. That's how to use AI. We're not going to just upload the application guidelines and say, write this application. That would be unethical. We have better skills than this, than to depend on a system to write everything. We only want to take it out there and make it better when we write something. That's important. Crafting compelling proposals. We want to tailor our applications to meet the funder's expectations. And those expectations come from combing the guidelines, looking at the website, looking at previously awarded grants and what they were for and what regions of the United States they went to. There are 10 or 11 federal funding regions, and dollars are allocated per region. No one region gets more than another region. So we have to look at, where did this money go before? Once we know the federal regions, we can plot private sector dollars, foundation and corporate dollars, and we can look at where they are going. And are we in a state that's even eligible to apply? Is our project a match for what the funder wants to fund? Have we made pre-contact to introduce our organization, ourselves? Or has a development director made that contact? Has the executive director? Has a member of the governing board's executive committee, have they reached out to the potential funders? Because relationships have to be forged before you hit submit. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Of course, you might do that with 10, where you don't do any pre-work. You just keep submitting, same old thing over and over. And wow, you get lucky on one of them. But you don't get lucky with 50 or 100,000. You get lucky with 1,500, 2,500 at the most. It's better to have a well-planned idea on how to reach out, build connections, and apply for the funding. A compelling proposal can do that. You write to the funder's requirements, but you build a relationship ahead of time. It's important to develop a clear narrative. We want to communicate our project's impact and potential. We want to make sure we answer every question, leave no stone unturned. And of course, I've seen this mistake happen hundreds of times. I've worked with clients, nonprofits, units of government, a little bit of everybody, and they always create the budget before I have a chance to write the narrative. So answer this rhetorical question for me. How in the world can you plot a budget when you don't know what's going to happen in the narrative? What are the tasks? What are the implementation strategies? What are the best practice models that we're going to adopt or modify to bring into our organization or unit of government or university or community college? Exactly what are we going to do, and how is it built upon a nationally approved research best practice? We are searching for best practices to see where our idea, whether we've been doing this already or this is a new thing that we're planning to do, who else has done it? What was the outcome? What did the evaluation report say at the national level? What agencies funded this? Oh, what foundations funded this? Now, once we have the narrative written, we are ready to hand it over to finance, the treasurer on the board for smaller nonprofits, to our CFO for larger nonprofits. And now we want to have them read the narrative, see what we propose, and plant a budget to that narrative. What's it going to cost to bring in 6 full-time case managers? What is it going to cost to have a full-time project or program director? What is it going to cost to have an IT tech person upload all the data so it goes to the foundation or the corporate grant maker or the state agency or the federal agency to feed into all the other data that's being collected from the other grantees. So now they have an aggregated look at how is our money making a difference in the United States, in this state, in this census tract, in this zip code. So there's a big picture involved with every single request that we send out there. It's important to have peer support and feedback. A collaborative learning environment is the way we teach those courses all the time. And my course through Career Learning is offered several times a year based on demand. And the students, they seem to gravitate toward each other. There is a Q&A. People can see first names. They know who the question askers are. It's a way to build your external support group or study group, especially when class is over. Expert review. You're going to get personalized critiques to refine your proposals when you work with a team or you pass it up to a supervisor. It is important to have a second set of eyes on everything you do. Even if you're a full-time grant writer already and you're out there and you're on your own, you're in an office, you rarely come out, you work in a unit of government, you need other ideas. Who are you talking to? Other grant writers. Who's your editor? We should not self-edit. I tried that one time for a Michigan Department of Education grant application for an intermediate school district, okay? And it was back in the day when we typed on TRS 80s. We didn't have the kind of technology we have today. Okay, I'm dating myself. That's okay.
Wow, you really
That
are.
tells the story.
TRS 80s. I know what that
Yeah,
was.
that was my first computer in my home office when I started my business.
Radio Shack. My God.
Yes, Radio Shack was the only place to go, like, clearly. And I typed the word, I was writing it to get a grant award to give teachers extra money in the summer to develop fun, innovative, engaging programs for their students, and they would be paid. And it was supposed to be called the Midland County Intermediate School District, or yeah, Midland County Intermediate School District Sabbatical Project. Well, I typed the word sabbatical 20 times. 20 times in a State Department of Education grant application, and I didn't catch it. Spell check had all of 20 words in the dictionary back then. It didn't catch it. I actually sent a copy of the draft to the school superintendent, who was the guy who was superintendent at that time. He didn't pick it up. Everybody read over it. It was submitted. It was funded, folks. It was really funded for a huge amount. We were able to do quite a few teachers to have summer money when they normally wouldn't get paid by the district because they were on 9-month paychecks, 9.5 month. They were going to get paid to do these innovative project ideas. Well, the letter to congratulate the school district came from the state superintendent of education. And I received a fax copy of that letter, along with a few exclamation marks like, "What have you done? You've embarrassed us at the state level, Beth." And what did it say? "Congratulations to the Midland Intermediate School District on receiving a grant award for the Midland Sabbatical Project." They copied it back the same way I wrote it, sabbatical. You know what? The superintendent was livid, angry. He thought I had embarrassed them, that I had made them look illiterate. So I called the state funding agency, the Department of Education at the state of Michigan, and I asked to speak to the program director or supervisor for that grant program. So I ended up with a supervisor. And I said, "I'm calling on behalf of Midland." I put together their grant application, and clearly I made an error on spell check. And I typed sabbatical instead of sabbatical, and it passed. It passed like 21, 22 times. And she started laughing. And she said, "We thought that was the most clever idea we've ever seen." Because in the statement of need, the grant application wrote about how these teachers were bitter that they didn't get paid during the summer. They felt it was unfair. They needed extra time and compensation to work on innovative classroom ideas that would stimulate kids, get them to do things, take them on field trips, get them to work with technology, engineering, math, all of that. And we figured the teachers are so disgruntled that you named this on purpose, the Midland County ISD Sabbatical Project. She said it was the first one we recommended for funding, and we gave you the full funding. And I said, well, let's call up the superintendent and tell him how innovative you thought this application was. Otherwise, he's going to want a refund for my company because he thinks I embarrassed him at the state level. She said, no, this application stood out. The Midland Sabbatical Project, no one thought of that. And it's like, wow, all right. Thank you, universe, for letting this application get through and to let them think it was innovative. So had I had another reviewer who had a watchful eye and could have edited and critiqued this, it would have been changed to sabbatical. And guess what? It may not have even have been funded because it was one of 100 received. One of 100 received. So why would it stand out? Sabbatical stood out, not sabbatical.
Hmm. That's an interesting story.
Yes, I want you to use AI in grant writing. It's a leveraging tool. It streamlines our research and drafting process with assistance. Even if we don't have an editor, we can drop our narrative in there, copy paste it, and it will edit it. It will put in, just say, I need punctuation, grammatical corrections, sentence structure. You really have to have a lot of instruction with AI. You can't just say, fix this narrative because it will write a completely new narrative that doesn't look like yours and may not be usable. So you have to be very finite in giving it multiple sets of directions before you actually give it the content that you want it to do something on or for. It really does enhance our proposal quality when we use AI to give us not just funding research and contact people and phone numbers and emails, but demographics, statistics, create a table, create a chart. I've used AI to create a program or project budget. It also can create persuasive visualizations. It can do things that we normally would do in Canva or with special graphic software. So it has a lot of purposes to help us dress up our applications when we're not doing a traditional copy and paste text only into an online electronic grant application portal.
We had a question from Tyler
Yes,
saying that ChatGPT isn't great, but I've had the best experience with Perplexity. Perplexity
ditto.
also provides sources it pulls from
Yeah,
the internet and links them to you.
I vote. I kicked ChatGPT to the curb and I went to Perplexity and I've been smiling ever since. Thank you, Tyler, for bringing that up. 2 votes for Perplexity, at least.
At least I use it every day. I'm not sure I can get through a day without using Perplexity.
Ditto. It even does my email responses now and my LinkedIn posts.
Yep.
If you're a grant writer, you're not at the bottom and you're going to stay at the bottom forever. The more you prove your value and worth and take training and get certification and write grant proposals that are awarded, the more you're going to move up. You're going to be in a competitive position to ask for more perks, more money. And if you can't get it, you're also using your certification to move on to a better type of employment. This is an industry where you can expand your career opportunities. It opens doors to everything new. When you go to conferences, you meet colleagues, you get scoops on other openings, dollars coming down. You hear presentations at annual conferences from federal officers. There is like a roundtable of foundation program directors saying, apply to us. We have money for this, this, and this. It opens up what I would call a field of unlimited grant writing and the possibility for unlimited grant awards for whoever you're writing for, employer or clients. There are also real world applications. Your skills can be applied immediately. This is really about how well can you research. Once you hone your research skills and you know how to use Boolean indicators, librarian characters, okay, to look up things in the library. Once we learn how to transfer that to our grant research and grant writing, we get so much more in our search engine returns. It gives us exactly what we're looking for. There are tons of case studies and examples of successful grant proposals and projects that are available. And with those Boolean characters and keywords, we can find them quickly and not have to sift through a million things that don't relate to what we're looking for. Time management and efficiency is critical. As grant writers, we have to learn how to maximize our time. We have to understand the process and what to do and how long it's going to take, and we have to map it out on a work plan. It is really project management in action. We have to be able to meet deadlines on time with confidence that we are helping our employers or clients submit high quality proposals. Nothing shoddy is going in. So I want to talk about the course structure coming up for next week's course. It is 5 days, okay, and I didn't catch that on the edit, so I apologize for 5 weeks. It is 5 days, but I want to say I wasn't the only one that looked at this, so we all missed it. It's structured to fit your schedule. You can learn this in a week, take the exam, and if you pass the exam, you can receive a certification from Career Learning. It's manageable. It's an hour every day for 5 days, and it starts on Monday and wraps up on Friday.
Yep.
It is chock full of information. You will have a chance in the Q&A to actually ask all the questions that you want to. It's exciting. It is stimulating, it's encouraging. And I want to say, when I started my career, there was nothing out there. I had to figure this out the hard way. Now you can have it figured out in 5 days.
There's another question that came in from, thank you for that, Dr. Bev. Tyler asks, I'm teaching a grant writing course in the fall and would want to know, what should I include from your perspective?
Funding research, funding contact protocol. In other words, funder contact protocol. Nothing gets submitted without building relationships up front, whether it's federal, state, county, city, foundation, or corporate. There will be no cold submissions. Okay, absolutely not. That's critical. Next, right to win. Right to win. Have a mindset of winning before you put the first word into your mind and type it onto your screen on the computer. Taking this 5-day course can be a transformative experience because we've crammed a lot in 5 days. Others who have taken it have advanced their careers, received promotions in their workplace, or use this as the basis for starting their own consulting firms where they now work for themselves, choose among the clients, and determine where the best opportunities are. And they work internationally, not just in their local zip code. Have you ever heard the saying, you're never an expert in your own backyard? Well, you're not. Look beyond that if you're out there trying to consult and build clients. This is a call to action. That's what today is about, to give you a tickler of how I teach, what I teach, and what you can learn and how far you can reach. Sign up now at Career Learning. The course starts on Monday. It is very affordable. I asked the tuition before our session started today. You're talking less than $700 for five days. This is within a professional development budget line item for every employer, whether it's a unit of government or a nonprofit. You are asking for an investment in you from your employer. Less than $700. You can learn this in a week, and you can start bringing in award-winning grants, award-winning grant requests. This is important. It's called return on investment. You should have your investment back times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more in your first awarded grant application. You have to know how to talk the talk to get your employer to pay for this. And if you are a consultant and you're already doing training, then obviously you need an annual budget for professional development. I have one, and look how long I've been out here, over 50 years. And I budget for professional development under my own 501c3 foundation annually and take classes to learn more. It's time to start your grant writing journey. Monday is the first step. Be there Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Eastern, 5 60-minute sessions. Master the art of grant writing and securing funding. You're going to learn from me. This is the time to sign up. We only have a limited number of openings, so I suggest you start asking today. I'm pretty sure you can use a purchase card, which is a credit card, for those of you that are not working for an organization. And there may be other ways as well. So now's the time to do it. This is the call to action. You've seen how I teach, how I explain things. I really give you a lot of content in 5 days. I'm doing for you in 5 days what I might teach in some other venue, in some other year, some other time, over 4 months, over 6 months. It just depends. You're getting it all at once. It is called learning on speed and getting it the first time. I love it.
Awesome.
More
Uh,
questions?
uh, they, how many times, how many times does the year do we teach these classes? I think we teach them a couple of times a year. It sort of depends on demand, but we'll certainly it's not this is not the last time. You can also buy this on demand for the same price, and you can watch it at your convenience. And again, with that 20% off code, which is professional 20, you will get 20% off. And how much does the course and books cost? There are materials that come with. There's no books per se. Okay. Well, those are the questions. Thank you very much, Dr. Browning. I
Blake,
appreciate your
I
time.
have an offer. For
Okay.
those people that register today and take advantage of the code for 20% off, only today's registrants, one of the handouts that I will provide that will be a file that I will send on to Career Learning to give to you when we start this course. It will be distributed in week 1 for all the extra handouts, will be Grant Writing for Dummies, the 6th edition, the PDF copy. It is over 450 pages and it is full of information to help you. So anything that you're confused about at the end of 5 days, you forgot to ask a question about, it's going to be answered in that textbook. And because it's PDF, you can do a Control F once you open up the file, type in what you're looking for, like SMART objectives, goals, statement of need, government funding, and all the chapters are going to come up and you'll be able to go right there. Only for people who registered today. That offer is not good after today, and I would say close of business time would be 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Is that correct, Blake?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Browning. Thank you very much for attending, everybody. I hope you found a fun and productive time. And we will be having these on a regular basis, so keep tuned in to our LinkedIn page. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.